Hey everyone, this is Doug from Convology, and I'm excited about today's video because today we're going to look at how to connect Thrivecart to Thrive Apprentice without the use of any membership platform. We're going to take a look at how to connect the two and what it means when you've got them connected for selling courses, giving people access to those courses without the need of a membership plugin, and what that entire process looks like from start to finish. So here we are in Thrive Apprentice. I have a test course created, and let's go ahead and click in on that and take a look at the access restrictions. So right now you see that I have none enabled, and if I enable those access restrictions, I can add a rule. And with the last update last week with Thrive Apprentice, we now have the ability to add a Thrivecart product. That's in addition to WordPress, Sendowl, and of course, my favorite membership plugin, Wishlist Member. So with the Thrivecart product, what you can do is you select this, and it says right here that Thrive Apprentice course access is handled inside your Thrivecart account. Thrivecart and Thrive Apprentice have teamed up to make it really easy to define course access right within your Thrivecart account. Now that's important because unlike with Wishlist Member, where I choose what access levels get access to my course, with Thrivecart as a Thrivecart product integration, all of that is handled entirely within Thrivecart itself. So what we want to do is we want to add this as a rule saying, yes, I want to have it be handled as a Thrivecart product, and click Add Rule. Now, that's really all there is to do inside of Thrive Apprentice, which sounds like it's wrong, right? It sounds like, oh, I need to be saying what product I give it access to. But that's actually all handled entirely on the Thrivecart side. So right now, all we have to do on our course is hit Save. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to go up here to the top in Thrive Apprentice and look for Manage Customers. Now, this is a new feature. Now, I think if you used Sendowl before, you might have seen this, but to me, this is entirely new. I know for sure it's new in the interface like this. This is essentially where you can add a customer, and you can add that customer as a Thrivecart product, Sendowl product, or Sendowl bundle. I really don't like the Sendowl integration, so I focus solely on Thrivecart right now. But essentially, this is how you would add a student manually to your course. You would essentially say their name, their email, that you want it to be a Thrivecart product, and whether or not you want to notify the user by email. Just a heads up, if you notify the user by email, actually in any case, you want your site to be connected to a transactional email service, something like SendGrid. I like the WordPress WP Mail SMTP plugin that I connect with SendGrid, and it ends up working just fine. So anyway, that's how you manually add a customer, which I think is really, really cool and intuitive, and it's easily going to replace a membership plugin for a lot of sites. Under display right here, I just wanted to show you this tab. This is where they recently moved all of their design things for it. And then under settings, this is what we want to find for our API keys. This is how we're going to connect Thrive Apprentice to Thrivecart. So let's go ahead and click on API keys, and let's create a new API key. Now with our API key, we give it a name. This is whatever we want. I'm going to call this Thrivecart. Now I want to make a note here. This is very interesting that we have now for the first time a Thrive Themes API that we can connect external tools to. Usually it's the other way around. We're connecting external APIs into Thrive. This means, fingers crossed, that we're going to have deeper and better integrations with a lot of tools in the future. So that's super exciting. So let's take our API key, make sure it's active by default here. Let's copy it, click the copy button. You can just hit Control-C if you don't trust it and hit save. So now we have our Thrivecart API key. Now what we want to do is we want to go over to Thrivecart. Here I am, and go to Settings, Integrations, where they have their big list of integrations, and find this new Thrive Apprentice integration. Click View Settings. Now I have my regular membership site already added. Let's go ahead and authorize another Thrive Apprentice site. We're going to call this one Convology Demo because that's the name of my site. We're going to put in the link. And then we're going to add our Thrive Apprentice API that we just copied. Now we're going to save this Thrive Apprentice site. Notice that it says your site has been accepted. I do want to point something out. When I added my main Convology member site, I ran into an error, and the error was saying that, oh, couldn't access it, couldn't find it, etc. What I recommend doing if you get that error is to come back into your Thrive Apprentice dashboard and make sure that you have a course created. If you don't have a course created and you've just done a fresh Thrive Apprentice installation, finish your course first, or at least add a test course like I did, and then ensure that you've published the course and that you have something in it. And for good measure, just go ahead and set up Give Access based on Thrivecart setup. If you do those steps, you will be able to connect your site. So as you can see here, we have our Convology demo site added. The next step is to go into a product and create a product for that course. So here we are in Thrivecart. I've created a new product. Let's go ahead and give this a name. Let's call it Doug's Test Course. We're going to leave it in test mode so that we can test all these things together. We're going to go to pricing. We're going to set a price for this product. Let's call it $1, one-time fee. We'll hit next. That's fine for testing purposes. We're not going to get fancy on any of these things. We're not going to do an order bump. We are going to set up a payment processor. We're going to choose Stripe here. And what should happen after the purchase? This is really important. This option right here, when you click on this, and it probably doesn't translate over OBS, which I'm recording on, but we want to choose Add Them to My Membership Site. And when we choose Add Them to My Membership Site, we now have the option to select the membership platform. So I normally use Wishlist, but I just added Thrive Apprentice, so I'm going to choose that. And now I get to select my Thrive Apprentice site that I want to use. And we want to choose Convology Demo because that's the site that we just created. Now what it's going to do automatically when I choose Convology Demo, it's going to choose automatically a drop-down list here showing me my courses. Now if you remember, if we jump back here to Thrive Apprentice, and we go to the Thrive Apprentice dashboard, I only have my one test course. So if I jump back into Thrivecart, I do only have one course on this dropdown. So I'm going to choose this. Of course, I have no options. It's the default. I'm going to choose my course that I want to give access to if they purchase this product. If you have multiple courses, choose the course you want to give them access to when they pay that one-time fee that we set up, or if yours was a subscription, whatever it may be. And then you have the option here to revoke access when the customer cancels or refunds. Let's check that box because we want it to strip away their access should they refund or should they cancel a subscription and you were on a subscription-based site. So now the next option here, if we hover over that, good, it translates over the stream here. Your customers will be emailed their login info by your membership platform. Enter a link below to your login page. You can customize the text that shows above this in the cart info step. So this is really, really important because this is where you'll give them a link to go to log in after they've created their account. So we'll put in here, actually I'll show you where to get this. Let's go back to Thrive Apprentice here. So for the purposes of this video, what I'm going to show you is the login page. Now, when you set up your login page, you can choose from an existing page or create a new page. Let's go ahead and create a new page. And let's call this page login and hit add page. Now we can view that page or we can edit with Thrive Architect. Let's go ahead and edit with Thrive Architect because I want to show you one of the great things about using Thrive Architect. And if you don't have Thrive Architect, I'll put a link in the description of the video where you can find that. So this is my default page. This is my demo site. So obviously it's not stylized at all, but let's show you a real quick technique that you can do. So up here under page, you can go to visibility settings and you can start turning things off. For example, you can turn off the post title, but let's just turn off the entire top section. And let's actually hide for the purposes of the video, I think I'm going to hide the header and the footer, and I'm going to hide the bottom section. I'm just going to hide everything except for this login element. Now, what's really nice about this login element, it was automatically added by Thrive Apprentice. If you lose this or this wasn't automatically added here, on the right-hand side, open up the element tray and scroll down or just search for log, and there it is, the login form. That's the same thing. If I try to drag it on the screen, it's the same thing. So like everything in Thrive Architect, we have the ability to fully customize this login form. If we just here on the left-hand side, look at some of these basic details real quick. After successful login, the first thing you want to do is say, I want them to go to the Apprentice course index, because that makes sense, right? You're building a Thrive Apprentice powered course site, and you're giving access to a Thrive Apprentice course. It just makes sense that if they log in, they can go to the courses. So that's the first thing we're going to change. The next thing we're going to change is right here, this orangish salmon colored button, Edit Form Elements. Now we have the ability to come in and edit each of these things individually. Let's say that we wanted to make the button here the color of our brand. So maybe I want to make this the Convology blue. So I'll just, try to remember the hex codes. There we go. Hit apply. So now I can make any edits that I want to this form and have the ability to stylize it, change the fields, turn off, turn on labels, use placeholders and things like that. The only other thing I want to show you on this login form here is down here where it says editing login form, this little bar right before you hit done, there's a drop down that you can choose the password recovery. You can stylize that. Password recovery confirmation. You can change the text here that you want to send them if they try to do a password reset. And you can change what happens if you are already logged in. And what's really cool about this is that you have the ability to add in buttons like, let's say somehow the person navigated their way somehow back to the login page. You could set this up where you add a button here. Let's just drag in a button and maybe say access your course content and then tell this button that you want it to send them to the Thrive Apprentice page. I do things like that, just try to enhance the user experience a little bit if for some reason they landed back on this page. Okay, so that's the Thrivecart, the Thrive Apprentice login page. Now what we can do is we can hit view. Well, actually, let's save first. Let's hit view. There it is. We are already logged into our demo site, but I'm going to grab the URL. And I'm going to go back to Thrivecart and I am going to paste that URL in. Okay, so that's all we have to do now for the login URL. Let's hit next. Now we want to design the checkout experience that we do with Thrivecart. We have some options. We have the ability to use the standard Thrivecart hosted checkout page, which I actually use for a lot of things. If you've purchased coaching hours with me, if you've worked with me, I typically sell my things through the hosted solution. I just like it. It's just really easy. But you also have the option to embed the checkout experience. So let's say that you wanted to embed Thrivecart's checkout experience right within your website to fully brand it, make that experience feel like they haven't left your site. You have that option. So let's actually choose that for the sake of this tutorial, because I think a lot of people like that. Let's choose next. And now let's launch our editor. So let's go ahead and edit this page a little bit and make it look a little more, course friendly, a little bit more like we want it to look like. So what we can do is we can drag around these elements. I like to put the course, image and the name of what they're buying up towards the top. Just seems a little bit better. We'll go ahead and leave it multi-step. I think that's fine. It's up to you. You can jump over to single step. And then what you do is you add a product info box here at the top, and it'll condense it a little bit. So you can play around with where you place that. You can drop it below your contact information or down at the bottom. It doesn't matter. You have complete control over it, or you just get rid of it entirely, which actually is not a bad idea, because what we can do is place this above up here, and then we can add in, using Thrive Architect, images of our course and the things that we're selling. So this actually doesn't look too bad. Start to make it a little bit more like our brand. We can do things, we can add dividers, we could add testimonials, but since we're embedding our checkout experience on our website, we can handle all of that through Thrive Architect. Maybe the last thing that I would remove here is the branding for Thrivecart. It's up to you. I would just choose to hide that. Yeah, sure, hide branding. You can disable the credit card icons if you don't want those. We'll just go ahead and leave those for right now. And we'll just decide, okay, you know what, this is fine. This is everything that I want. We don't need to gather any more details other than the person's email address, but we do have the option to gather their contact info if we desired. But we'll go ahead and just say, okay, this is our checkout page. Let's go ahead and hit next. Now at the success page, this is what we chose during checkout to add them to our membership site automatically. So they have the option here to view invoice. They also have the ability to go directly to the site, and all of those are handled directly within the product settings. So let's just go ahead and hit complete. Now, once we've finished setting up our design of our checkout experience, we can copy the code below to paste it right into the site. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's copy that, and let's go back to our demo site, and let's create a new page, and let's call this our checkout page. I don't know, we'll call it something better. We'll say test course checkout. That's good enough. And we'll save our draft there, and we'll launch Thrive Architect. Now, again, we have a very, very demo site here. So let's just load up a blank page, and let's maybe do two things. Let's add some columns. Let's maybe add an image of our course. Okay, let's say that this was our course image here. And let's add maybe some text here, right? And this is going to be a real high class looking landing page, guys. So let's go and center all these things. Let's maybe make this an H1. Now let's go ahead and add our custom HTML element so that we can add our Thrivecart checkout experience. Paste in that code. No preview will be available, but let's save our work and let's just preview this. So you'll see that the transaction experience does load entirely within the page, and we can decide whether or not we like how this looks. Maybe you'll want to come back here and say, you know what, I don't love that, so I want to put it within a background section instead. Add that background section, take our HTML, put it within it, come back here and let's find out what color gray this is. Copy that hex code and jump back in here and say, I want to make the background style of this element match, so that if I hit preview and it loads, now it all looks like it's within one background section. And this right here, this warning, is just because we're in test mode. So we want to leave it that way so that we can test our checkout and see the whole process together. So there it is. That's our course checkout experience embedded. Obviously, you'll spend more time making this look really, really great. But now let's run through the test process of signing up for the course and seeing what happens. So before we do that, I do want to show you really quick the email templates that will go out when somebody signs up and purchases the course. So under settings here in Thrive Apprentice, we want to go to email templates. Now we have the ability to say, okay, when a new account is created, this is the email that's going to go out to the person that signs up. So you can change the subject line, your account has been created, and I suggest you do that, right? Maybe put your brand in there, say what they bought, you just purchased such and such. And then this right here, these short codes, first name, username, user pass, that is because of the Thrivecart, and all that info will be passed from Thrivecart. And then right here, you can choose short codes to add different information. Again, if we scroll down here, the login button, log into your account, that is going to send them to the login page that we just set up within Thrive Apprentice. So that's really great too. And let's just go ahead and say, you know what, this looks great, save template. Okay, so we have entered our checkout details here, and let's go ahead and complete our order. You can see here that we've been taken to our successful checkout page. We have our text here. We can have it say whatever we want. This was fully customizable within the checkout experience of the Thrivecart product page. And we have the ability to add buttons. They can view the invoice for the checkout experience. I know a lot of people need to show that. And then I added a button here that they can log in with. So what's going to happen is the user is going to get their email credentials based on the email that we set up. And now they can also click here to log in. So when we click here to log in, we're taken to the login page. We are already logged in as our demo account. So let's go ahead and log out of that and take a look at the entire experience. Okay, so here we are at that login page that we created. I've entered in the credentials. I did receive an email and it did have the password with my login. And now I'm going to press login. And as you can see, it took me right to Doug's test course, where I have the ability to start looking at modules and lessons and things like that. Everything that I've set up within my course, it worked perfectly. Now let's test what happens if I'm not logged in to see what Thrivecart and Thrive Apprentice does if they don't have access. So I'm logged out now, and as you can see, this is only for logged in users. If I try to access this, I will get the message that says, it has my customized stuff on here, that I do need to log in order to access this content. And personally, I really like this right here. I like being able to enter in those login details and seeing it right away. So let's say that your students purchased it through Thrivecart. They maybe didn't go to the login page the second time around. They bookmarked your course index. Let's see what it looks like when they log in from this page. So there we go. We've got all of our details in. Let's click login. There we go. You can see they logged in and they immediately got access to the course. My course is empty, but as you see, they can go to the next lesson and get access to everything. Up at the top, they can come back to, through the breadcrumbs, the courses, and of course it's showing that it's completed because there's nothing to it. But there you go. That's actually really awesome. I want to point out a couple of things here. By using this new integration, we have actually cut out the need for a membership plugin entirely. Notice we didn't use wishlist member, member press, anything like that. We're truly managing our entire course access through Thrive Apprentice and Thrivecart. Now I want to show you, let's go back into the back end and take a look at what that customer section looks like now. Okay, so here we are on the Thrive Apprentice dashboard. Let's go to Manage Customers. Give that a refresh, and there we go. we have the account that was created through Thrivecart. If I click here, edit access rights, I can see that they did purchase through Thrivecart Doug's test course. Awesome. And if in the future I had a second course that I just wanted to manually grant to somebody, maybe through the use of like a support form, maybe somebody didn't get the access for some reason, you just simply click add access and add another course to this user. You also have the ability to manually delete access to a course. That's pretty good too. All right, so that kind of wraps it up. That's the complete Thrivecart Thrive Apprentice integration. I love it. I'm actually now really, things are spinning in my head and I'm trying to decide, am I even going to use Wishlist Member for my own membership site that I am starting? I'm building workshops and courses and things that I'm going to offer to you guys. And I don't know if I need Wishlist Member anymore. I'm thinking I might just use Thrive Apprentice and Thrivecart. So again, this was actually really, really simple. But if you have any questions about this integration, feel free to leave a comment on the video or to go to convology.com where I have a full write-up on this as well, kind of explaining the process. But that's going to do it for me. One request, if you guys found value in this video, go ahead and like the video and perhaps follow the channel. I am trying to grow things. I am trying to provide more value to people so that you can find answers to your common questions. And that just helps me grow. That helps more people find my videos. So again, this was Doug from Convology. Thanks for watching.